Hello and welcome to another pen video from me, Penultimate Dave. So I have another 10 pens currently inked this week. I think let's go through these briefly one by one. We'll go through them in a little bit more detail and then we'll do a writing sample. So from left to right is the Urushi Studio India Xiphos-R in Aka-Tamenuri. We have a Visconti Voyager Yellow Dawn. We have a Visconti Chatterley Luxuries exclusive, and this is the Southwest. We have a Visconti St Basil. We have a Parker Duofold, and this is a Prestige in the black Chevron. We have a Parker Duofold Centennial, and this is in the pearl and black. We have a Montegrappa, and this is a Bartolomeo Ferracina. We have a Visconti, and this is the Medici Il Magnifico, and this is in the Lapis Lazuli. We have an Armando Simoni Club Bologna Extra, and this is in the Wild West. And we have a Nakaya Long Cigar, and this is in the Toki-Tamenuri. So I think let's take a look at these pens in a little bit more detail. So this is a Urushi pen that I got from Vivek at Urushi Studio India. I have this one inked up this week. So it's a ebonite pen made from GM Custom Pens, which Vivek also works for. But he has since branched out and started Urushi Studio India, where he takes the GM Custom Pens and he lacquers them with Urushi. And more lately he's been doing a lot of maquille work and Radom work, I think. So this is a lovely sort of Aka-Tamenuri-like finish that he did in a Xiphos-R. Now, the Xiphos is the one of the models that GM Custom Pens make, and R stands for regular, as in length. So this is the regular length pen. They do a Xiphos S for small, and a Xiphos, I believe, L for large or long. But this is a beautiful, beautiful pen. So this really is a lovely Urushi glassy-like or pond-like finish with this Aka-Tamenuri. And I love this. It's so smooth and it feels like you are actually feeling glass. It is that smooth. It's a beautiful pen and I love the Urushi work on this pen. And I'm so glad I was able to pick this up when I did from Vivek. So this has a black ebonite section there, which I believe is also Urushi lacquered as well. And the nib there, it's a GM custom nib, but it's a Yovo nib. I got that in a medium nib. It's a cartridge converter pen. You can't post the caps on these. They're not designed to do so on the Xiphos models. But I don't need to post the cap. I find this very, very nice in the size of my hand. I do find it's quite a light pen to hold as well. Ebonite typically can be, as well as obviously Urushi as well. But I think this is made to a very good finish, and I have this one inked up with me this week. Another pen that I haven't had, I believe, inked up for quite some time now is this gorgeous pen, and it's a Visconti. It's the older style Voyager model. It has the Voyager kill clip there that you can see. This is in a really beautiful material, and this is the Yellow Dawn, and I absolutely love this material. It's a Colleedo Voyager, and Colleedo is this sort of Kaleido pattern that you have swirling around with these sort of like dashes and dots in that pattern. But also this material is quite chatoyant there, so you can see it really can sparkle in the camera or in the lights. It's a beautiful pen. And this is a medium, and it's the older style 14 karat gold nib there. But again, cartridge converter, but it feels very nice in my hand. It's quite a light pen, and I do like this. So I decided I needed to ink this one up, and I inked that one up this week. The next pen, I've had inked up quite a bit recently, and I absolutely love writing with this pen. So this is the Visconti Chatterley Luxuries exclusive, and this there were two models. There was the City and Southwest, and the name of the sort of models was City to Southwest, but one was called City and one was Southwest. And I picked up both of them. This is the Southwest. It's made from the same celluloid material that the Visconti Speakeasy and also the St Basil, which you'll see next in my pen tray here, is made of. It's a beautiful red and blue and black, and a little bit of purple there, sort of hue going on. And I absolutely love this pen, and I love it because of the way it writes. This is the newer style 18-karat gold nib from Visconti. It's a medium nib, but this writes really well, and you can see there it's a limited edition number 20 of 28. But this writes really well, and that's not to say that Viscontis don't write well. They do, but sometimes you can get some that write maybe less good or less better, and some that write exceptionally well. And I think we find that with all pens in our collections, is that one pen, like you always hope it's going to be the best writing pen, and a lot of the time it isn't. You have other pens that write better in your collection, and then a pen comes along and it just blows you away in terms of the writing experience, and that's what that one did. And this was another one also that blew me away as well, in terms of not only the beauty but the writing experience. And this is the Visconti St Basil, and you can see there the St Basil inscribed there on that inlay on that pen, and then you have a lovely inscription there as well. This is a beautiful pen. I got it as a set, so I did get the rollable and the fountain pen. This is the fountain pen, obviously. And it does come with a red ruby in the cap finial as well. It's a beautiful pen, and I love this celluloid material there. I just think that material is beautiful, and it's a material that I like a lot. It's a double reservoir power vac, and you've got the older 23-karat palladium nib there. It's a medium nib, but again, this pen just writes really well for me, and I love it. So that one, I decided I needed to ink back up again, because I'm probably going through a little bit more of a red colour ink maybe at the moment. And I tend to gravitate between different colours sometimes, and I saw that and I had to take it to a pen club, so I decided, I'm going to ink it up and feature it on one of these currently inked videos again. The next pen I have inked up this week is the Parker Duofold, and this is the Prestige in the black chevron. So I always want to call this a Centennial. It's technically not the Centennial. It is the Prestige, but it is Centennial size, and that's why I want to call it a Centennial mostly, and because I've got other Parkers in my collection that are Centennials. But this is a beautiful pen. I've got this in the blue, and this is the black, and I am really really wanting the burgundy as well, but I don't know, maybe I will add that at some point to my collection, depending on the price I can get one for. Now, this is a Parker Duofold nib there, and you can see a little bit of red ink there on that nib from Nib Creep. It's an 18-karat gold nib. It is a fine nib that you'll see there, an F for fine. But I typically find it writes a little bit more like a medium. It's a cartridge converter pen, and it's got some weight to it because it is an all-metal pen as well. And then one of the other Parker Duofolds, and this is the Centennial that I have in my collection, is this one, and this is the Pearl and Black. And I'm glad I did buy this when I did. I have been really hampering after one of these for about 4 years now, and I always told myself that if I found one for a really good price, I would buy it. And of course, ever since, when you tell yourself something like that, ever since, you will find that there's never one for a good price. Well, 4 years later, one did come along for a good price, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to buy it, and I did buy it. So So this is it. It is, I think, a used pen. It's not brand new, but still, it's got the 18 karat gold nib on there, and that is also, I believe, a fine nib. I'm just trying to look on that nib. It's not actually showing there. There you go, fine. If I can show you on the feed there, fine on the feed. It's a cartridge converter as well as the same as this one. And I can post a cap if I want to on this. Again, I don't normally post caps, but you can if you want to. But I like that material. It's got a lot of chatoyance going on there in that sort of almost cracked ice, pearly effect going on there. I guess mother of pearl more than cracked ice. The next pen I have inked up this week, I think I had this inked up maybe for the last week or the week before. This is the Montagrappa, and this is the Bartolomeo Ferracina. And Bartolomeo was a clockmaker, so you have a clock there. It is a solar clock, so it will, I'm just checking the time on my watch. Yeah, it is exact. So this doesn't miss a beat. Some quartz watches you do find run fast or run slow. That one I find does not. This has some really good material. It's celluloid. It's the Montegrappa shiny circle celluloid. They also have shiny lines, and I do have a Montegrappa Extra 1930 shiny lines dove as well. But this material is absolutely captivating. So I love this material to death, and I would like to get some more either shiny circles or shiny lines at some point, and I'm sure I will. It's just a matter of when. It does have a solid silver 925 section. It has a number 8 size Montagrappa nib, and this is a medium nib. It is really comfortable in my hand. I can post the cap if I want, but it's very back weighted, so I don't do that on this pen because it's already a very heavy pen. So I decided I would ink that one up this week again. The next pen here is a Visconti, and this is the Visconti Medici Il Magnifico in the Lapis Lazuli. Now, Lapis Lazuli is a blue stone, and depending on where that stone comes from, it can look a little bit different. This is a beautiful stone. I like this pen to death. It's a very, very beautiful pen. It's made of solid marble or stone and solid silver that is then vermeiled, and that's a gold plating on that. This comes with the newer style, if I can get it to focus, 18 karat gold nib. That's a medium nib. It's got the hook safe lock. It's a power vac. It's not a double reservoir, but I still find that this holds a lot of ink. So I don't have to worry about the ink running out on that pen. It's a really good mechanism there in terms of filling capacity. The next pen I have inked up is this one, and this is a beauty for sure. It's the Armando Simoni Club Bologna Extra, and this is, I will show you here, the Wild West. And when I saw this, I just had to get this pen. So sometimes you have to ask yourself, why do you want a pen so much? Well, there are 2 reasons, well, maybe 3 reasons for this pen that I wanted it. The first is it has this Wild West theme going on. And I grew up in my younger years watching a lot of American Wild West movies, the gunshoe and gunslinging movies, and I used to love watching them. So that was one reason. The other reason is I love the striated sort of spaghetti type resin materials, and this is one of them, and you can see that there where the material is sliced in a certain way and it creates like almost like slats on that pen, and it's got a lot of reds and blues, which I do like a mixture of as well. So that was the second reason. The third reason is that it's got a massive number 8 size ASC nib. These write super wet, fire hose wet, and I really do like how these write. So that was the third reason. So when you ask yourself what is, and I do sometimes ask myself, what is the reason for buying a pen? Do I really want that pen in my collection? Or is it going to be a pen that looks nice to start with and then I just don't write with it? This is going to be a pen that I write with a lot and have been writing with a lot. And then the last pen, this doesn't quite fit in my pen tray. This is the Nakaya, and this is the long cigar. This is in the Toki-Tamenuri finish. I'm more of a sucker for the Aka-Tamenuri. Toki-Tamenuri is probably at the moment my second favourite finish. And I like this a lot. To be truthful, I hadn't realised, I hadn't done measurements. I probably should have done measurements. I hadn't realised how long this pen was. So it clearly doesn't fit in my pen trays, at least for like these videos. But it has a beautiful, beautiful colour to it. It's sort of like, almost like brick brown or terracotta brown kind of look. And it has a soft medium Nakaya nib there as well. So that is a nib that I do like writing with a lot. These are long pens. Can I post the cap? I can, and wow, it just makes it a crazy length. But again, I don't post my caps, but it's still a crazy length even without the cap posted. But I like writing with these soft mediums. I'm not a fan of the normal regular hard nibs that Nakaya or Platinum make, but the soft nibs or the soft medium nibs I do like, because it adds just a little bit of spring or bounce to the writing experience. So I think with that, let's go and do a writing sample. So the first pen is the Urushi Studio India Xiphos-R in Aka-Tamenuri. So I think we'll do an ink swatch here. And you can see this is a lovely bright red ink. Now, this is a Yovo medium nib, so typically I find the Yovo medium nibs tend to write a little bit more drier than the broad nibs. So this is the Urushi Studio India, and this is the Xiphos-R, and it's Aka-Tamenuri. And it is a medium, and it's a still Yovo nib. Now, the ink in here today is a lovely ink that I have, which is Diamine, Poppy Red, which is, for me, a very, very good red ink from Diamine. There's two red inks I like a lot. One is Poppy Red, and the other is Wild Strawberry. The next pen is the Visconti Colleedo Voyager Yellow Dawn. So we'll do an ink swatch here. And you can see that's a lovely orange ink. So this is the Visconti, and it is the Voyager, and it's the Yellow Dawn. And it is the it's a medium 14 cat gold nib, and then the ink in here is Sailor Gentle Apricot, which is a beautiful orange ink. The next pen is a Visconti Chatterley Luxuries, and this is the Southwest. So we'll do an ink swatch. And I mentioned that this nib writes beautifully, and it writes quite wet. Not fire hose, but it's not far off. So this is the Visconti Chatterley Luxuries, Southwest, and it is a medium 18 cat gold nib. And then the ink in here is Mont Blanc, and it is corn, poppy, red, which is my absolute favourite Mont Blanc ink. I've got other Mont Blanc inks, but that is the favourite by far. The next pen inked up is the Visconti St Basil. So we'll do an ink swatch, and this is another beautiful writing nib. It's a bit wetter than the Southwest, and I love this, and I love how it writes. It's got quite a bit of bounce to it as well. And I'm just checking it is, just making sure it is 23 cat palladium. So this is the Visconti, and it's the St Basil. And it is a medium 23 cat palladium nib. And then again, the ink in here is Mont Blanc, and it's corn, poppy, red. And I do need to get through the 5 bottles of corn poppy red that I have, so I feel inking 2 pens up in that wouldn't be an issue this week. The next pen is a Parker Duofold, and this is the Prestige in the black chevron. So we'll do an ink swatch. And this is, I find, quite a dry nib, and maybe I need to just try a different red ink in here. So this is the Parker Duofold Prestige, and it's the black chevron. And then the nib in here is a fine, and it's an 18 cat gold nib. And then the ink in here is Franklin, Christoph, and it's sweet maroon, which is a very nice maroon coloured ink. And I don't think I have that many what I would call a maroon coloured ink, and I think that's probably why I like that ink a lot. The next pen is another Parker Duofold. This is a Centennial in pearl and black. So we'll do an ink swatch. Now I do find, although this writes, I would say, it feels to write a little bit wetter than the previous one, it still is a dry nib, and it's maybe a little bit finer, I think, as well. So this is the Parker Duofold, and it's the Centennial, and it's in the pearl and black. Again, it's a fine nib, and it's an 18 cat gold nib. And then the ink in here, I just need to double check what that ink is. The ink is Diamine Imperial Purple, which is a beautiful ink, and it has a lovely gold sheen. I don't know if you can see this gold here on the ink swatch, but that is a beautiful goldy green kind of like sheen going on there. The next pen is the Montegrappa Bartolomeo Ferracina. We'll do an ink swatch. And this nib writes quite wet now. And it's with a dry ink as well. So this is the Montagrappa, and it's the Bartolomeo Ferracina. and it's the shiny circles. If I can get that in there. It's a medium 18 cat gold nib. And then the ink in here is Diamine Earl Grey, which is my favourite all-time grey ink. The next pen is the Visconti Medici Il Magnifico in the Lapis Lazuli. So we'll do an ink swatch. Now, this nib sings a little bit, but I love how it writes. And typically I don't like singing nibs, but I do like this nib. So this is the Visconti, and this is the Medici Il Magnifico, and it's the Lapis Lazuli stone, and it's a medium 18 karat gold. It's a new style gold nib from Visconti in-house. And then the ink in here is Pilot Iroshizuku Ajise, which is a beautiful sort of lavender colour-ish ink, which I like a lot. The next pen is the Armando Simoni Club Bologna Extra, and this is the Wild West. So we'll do an ink swatch. And I have this inked up with a red ink. I could put a blue ink. I think I did put a blue ink in once, and I gravitated to a red ink instead. I think probably because I have a lot of pens that I can put blue ink in as well. So this is the ASC Bologna Extra, and it's the Wild West, and it's a medium 18 karat gold. It's a Magiflex nib. And then the ink in here, I'll just double check this again because I think I know what it is, but I just want to make sure. Yeah, it is Diamine, and it is Poppy Red. And you'll see the difference here between this red and this red here. And they are two very different colour looking inks. But they are exactly the same ink. It's just that one is more wetter, more broader nib than the other. And then the last pen is a Nakaya long cigar in Toki-Tamenuri. So we'll do an ink swatch here. And I have this inked up with a brown ink. Now, I do find that Nakaya nibs do write a little bit more on the drier side though. So this is a Nakaya, and it is a long cigar. Now this does have a lot of pencil feedback. I typically find it has more feedback on paper like Oxford Optic paper, and a lot less feedback on Tomoe River. So this is in the Toki-Tamenuri, and it is a soft medium. I want to say, yeah, it's a 14 karat gold nib. I wasn't too sure if it was 14 or 18. And then the ink in here is Diamine, and it is Tobacco Sunburst, which is an interesting brown ink from Diamine. It's part of the Les Gibson guitar set series of inks. So I think let's take a look at these pens inked up one more time. So we have a Urushi Studio India Xiphos-R in an Aka-Tamenuri like finish in a medium steel nib inked up with Diamine Poppy Red. We have a Visconti Voyager Yellow Dawn in a medium 14 karat gold nib inked up with Sailor Gentle Apricot. We have a Visconti Chatterley Luxuries Southwest in a medium 18 karat gold nib inked up with Mont Blanc Corn Poppy Red. We have a Visconti St Basil in a medium 23 karat Palladium nib inked up with Mont Blanc Corn Poppy Red. We have a Parker Duofold Prestige Black Chevron in a fine 18 karat gold nib inked up with Franklin Christoph Sweet Maroon. We have a Parker Duofold Centennial Pearl and Black in a fine 18 karat gold nib inked up with Diamine Imperial Purple. We have a Montegrappa Bartolomeo Ferracina Shiny Circles in a medium 18 karat gold nib inked up with Diamine Earl Grey. A Visconti Medici Il Magnifico in the Lapis Lazuli in a medium 18 karat gold nib inked up with Pilot Orochizuku Aji Sei. We have an ASC Bologna Extra Wild West in a medium 18 karat gold nib inked up with Diamine Poppy Red. And then we have a Nakaya Long Cigar in Toki-Tamenuri with a soft medium 14 karat gold nib inked up with Diamine Tobacco Sunburst. So there you have it, that's my currently inked pens for this week. Thanks for watching, please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next pen video. Bye bye.